Avoid skip. Because I'm here to tell you, pay attention. The truth, regardless of whether it makes you relationships, whether uncomfortable or not, are a game, and I will show you how to win if you have ever been disoriented, perplexed, or helpless in terms of comprehension. Women, you have two options as of today. Stay in the dark or take action and educate yourself. What I'm going to reveal is the truth. The unvarnished truth about how the mind works, operates, and how you might assume command in methods that no one else will reveal to you. Do you want her to be completely enamored with you? Want for her to pursue you rather than you? Never cease wasting time on her pursuits. Counsel that doesn't work for you, discussing psychological power in this context. The type that digs deep and provides you with the advantage in each encounter. Women aren't the innocent, let's face it, delicate beings that everyone attempts to, since they have their own tricks, color them, their own tactics and employ them, day to obtain what they desire. You're playing fair, but don't believe it. It's time to arm oneself in a conflict, with information that will change the course of events entirely now. You may be unsure if this is even correct. If you are, let me stop you while you learn these things. You may worry about that right there. And incorrect. Do you succeed in morality? First lesson for those who lose and don't comprehend the game. They are pretending that the rules are unchangeable. Those who succeed make what I'm about to reveal regarding their own rules. How do you enter that level of control is not the same as manipulation. It is about staying on for its own sake, at the top, and never being left wondering where this whole thing went wrong. This isn't for the weak of heart. Those who have had enough of being kind with being cautious and prepared to take what they're due, whether they're ready or not. Preparing to unlock a world that most people are too scared to even discuss. However, once you see it, there's no turning back. Are you still with me back? This is simply the starting one that causes emotional explanations for why logic fails. Disregard reason when it arrives to. Do you believe that you can control a woman's mind? Reason why arguments and facts will. Women don't respond when you try to win her over. To logic, the motivations behind men's actions are their feelings, and you must exercise control if you're interested in charge, to cease believing that if you clarify items or make sense, she'll comprehend. No, what triggers her emote is what works. Feelings, and preventing her from thinking women are predisposed to respond to emotions, and that's precisely how they manipulate you. They play without you even recognizing it. On your feelings and behaving agitated all the time, pretending to be harmed or utilizing guilt. You've most likely already encountered this. She's adorable one moment, and then she is destroying you because of something. That's not even logical. You're sitting there, perplexed, attempting to discover what transpired while she's already assumed command of the circumstance emotionally. But it's time to turn around now. The script you must master in order to elicit her feelings first. You wish to keep her tense and wondering what's going to happen. Next, reasoning doesn't generate appeal, but uncertainty occurs when you are able to make her sense of happiness or not. You can feel dread, jealousy, or excitement. Manage the dynamic. She will continue to arrive, returning for more as feelings are addictive, and she will begin to connect. Here's a look at your highs and lows. Create emotional spikes with this pro tip. Second lesson entails provoking her in ways that make her feel strong emotions, one while you're focusing on her and giving her a sense of exclusivity, and the next, you're becoming aloof and retreating. This back and forth leads to misunderstandings. This forces her to look for approval from, it keeps her emotionally captivated, so she will never be certain of what's approaching. Next, the fact that nobody wants to acknowledge that women have goals. They wish to maintain control over the relationship by emotionally invested, but after you discover to control her feelings before she can influence yours, you've already prevailed. Recall that emotions are the primary source of logic. You get nowhere after you begin to play with. You'll notice how rapidly her feelings stop wasting time. She will get in line, being sensible and taking charge of the battlefield of emotions, and you'll never lose twice while exploiting her worries to her advantage. If you wish to exert authority over a lady, it's the oldest tactic to play on her anxieties in the book, but the one that nobody discusses because most people find it too harsh. Individuals to manage, but guess what? Like everyone else, ladies have fears, and once you are aware of what those are, possess the ability to utilize them for your advantage. That most people steer clear of this subject, since it seems too gloomy, but we're not. I'm not here to sugarcoat whatever you manage the circumstance or you risk. Here is the truth of women's control. Fears are more profound than you may realize. Fear of rejection and abandonment. Not being adequate, these aren't merely insecurities, are vulnerabilities that you can use to remain in control after learning what she's genuinely terrified of, you using that information to make her reliant on you. For instance, intellectually and emotionally, examine Christian Grey's character. Anastasia Steele in 50 Shades of Grey is living in continual fear of losing him since he plays with such skill. Into her anxiety that he will depart her, throws her away after bringing her in, making her worry that she won't ever be sufficient for him. It's more than simply his money and appearance that keep her returning. It's the sentimental. He takes her on a roller coaster, and she's constantly worried about whether he'll stay or leave, and she clings to it out of dread. You gain by making him even more control, by giving her a sense of defeat. The worst thing that could happen is you. Am I suggesting that you go out there now and frighten ladies? In no way, but I'm trying to imply that you must recognize the driving forces behind her actions. And a major component of that is fear when you use her worries in a subtle way. You're the one who determines the tempo of the relationship. Perhaps she fears being third lesson isolated, or perhaps it's the anxiety of being, once you locate it, replace whatever it is. You have leverage at the bottom of that dread. Jane discovers how to recognize her anxieties, and she won't have the same level of influence over you. You don't have to play, even if you see approaching, nice, but you must play intelligently, because fear is a strong instrument that, when applied properly, keeping her exactly where you desire. She is 3 times proficient in the push-pull method to maintain her captivated. If you wish to maintain a woman's interest, Edge is constantly considering you. One method that functions like magic is the push-pull technique. Is easy to use, yet powerful. You pay attention to her. You make her feel unique, so pull away. Abruptly lose. This steady back and forth produces emotional strain, and emotional tension is addictive, I promise. She will return time and time again because you've established a mental craving for your validation. Let's avoid skirting the bush. Ladies are emotionally elated, and Lowe's receives excessive attention and too little boredom and a sense of neglect. However, she won't be able to if you combine the two, to foresee future events, and that's precisely what captures her attention. The push-pull method functions by generating this ideal harmony between giving and denying her emotional support. Invested without understanding the true occurring, she will devote more time to pondering your thoughts instead of concentrating on her own wants, a real life right now. For an illustration of a push-pull, look no farther than Selena's notorious relationship with Justin and Gomez. This relationship was a roller coaster, coaster that lasted for years, and I suppose why it remained in the news. Highlight the continuous tugging and pushing between the two. Sal would receive a lot of attention from Justin, declared their love in public, and they would appear to. The push is inseparable, thus without warning that he would withdraw and become entangled with another person or leave her dangling. The attraction of this is emotional limbo. Wasn't merely rumors in the media. This was a master lesson on the dynamics of the push-pull keeps a person emotionally involved. Even Selena has discussed the emotional upheaval, stating that it was challenging too. There was always this, so move on. Persistent question of what if, that's the push-pull technique's magic, generates a never-ending loop of uncertainty, of doubt and hope. She was continuously attempting to determine her position, and that emotional jumble kept her linked for a long time after the partnership ought to have. Nevertheless, the push-pull method produced a psychological loop in which, regardless of the link, wasn't completely broken. Here's how to apply this method in your personal life. Should begin with the push. Pay attention to her and make her feel as though she is the focal point of your universe. Give her praise, take her out, and make her feel unique when she's at her best. Of feeling wonderful, retreat and be aloof. Don't respond so quickly or appear preoccupied. Lesson number 4. An abrupt shift in behavior will knock her off balance. And she will begin to pursue that higher. She'll question why you pulled again, away, and attempt to regain your focus. That is the emotional strain you must endure. Keep control, which is the most crucial aspect. Never give her a sense of security too quickly. She thinks she has you figured out. Women don't want her to be interested. They seek thrill even if it's predictable. It is emotionally perplexing, which is why, when the push-pull operates, a cycle of emotional peaks and valleys that sustain her. Don't be the bottom line in ed. Person who is constantly available and easy to. It's you who keeps her guessing, keeping her emotionally unstable, which is how you manage to get her to return, like the world watched Justin and Selena go. Years of back and forth, you have power over the she will dance to your rhythm. 4 strategies for quietly undermining her wake-up. Confidence men. You've been doing it incorrectly for years, which is why. Aren't you losing women all the time? Seeking pushovers. They're searching for men who are able to quietly undercut their just enough self-assurance to keep them. I'm not talking about wanting more, blatant disregard or brutality. I'm discussing subtle psychological methods that cause her to question herself, and you see, she's still vying for your acceptance. Women are continuously inundated with focus and commitments from males attempting to impress them, but what transpires in situations where you are the one not falling all over her? She begins to wonder herself, at which point you've got the upper hand. Being cruel is not the goal. For instance, it's about being strategic. Examine Chuck Bass's persona in He's Not Your Normal Lovely Guy, Gossip Girl. Man who understands how to go beneath Blair Waldorf feels the sensation of her skin simultaneously uncomfortable and desirable. He will give her a little compliment and then gently critique her the following time. Is not merely fiction. Rather, it is a strategy that functions in real life because it maintains women are alert when you gently undercut her self-confidence. You make her reliant on your approval. She'll begin vying for your approval out of curiosity. She can do this to make you happy. Isn't about destroying her. Rather, it's about establishing a relationship in which she respects your viewpoint above all others, when she will turn to you when she doubts herself. For comfort, which is where your when control arrives. Here's how to accomplish it, beginning with a praise, anything sincere that makes. When she feels good, follow up with a gentle criticism, such as telling her that appears stunning, yet her attire may not be the ideal option for this generates a push-pull effect. Dynamic in a single exchange, she feels well but begins to have doubts herself, and that uncertainty prompts her to look for further strategy to gain your acceptance, is to express curiosity, then withdraw and give. She feels unique because of her attention, and then abruptly get aloof. She'll begin to question what she did incorrectly and will attempt to regain your interest in this makes I, where she is continuously attempting to demonstrate fifth lesson herself to you, which maintains her feelings invested. Let's not overlook how crucial of keeping things secret. Women are drawn to difficult-to-read males. They don't reveal all about themselves to the table. Keep her wondering how you sense your thoughts and feelings. When she is unsure, that will be the following step. She is fascinated, and that fascination keeps her a rival. Remind yourself that breaking is not the aim, her soul, but to establish a situation where she respects your viewpoint and looks for your confirmation. When you gently make fun of her self-assurance, you establish yourself as the one to whom she seeks comfort. In this offers you authority in the partnership, and makes certain she stays emotionally invested in. Why are you 5 emotionally available? Weakens you. It's time to confront a tough reality, men. Being emotionally available weakens you in the gaze of women who have given you false information by society's advice to be receptive, to express your emotions, and to be weak. But in reality, ladies don't admire males who show their emotions. Sleeve, they admire men who have emotional self-control and who don't collapse when pressed. People who keep things mysterious when you're too susceptible to emotion. Turn into dull, predictable ladies are not drawn to males who are always. They are constantly open and sharing. They are drawn to the thrill of the unknown, the difficulty of determining when nothing remains of you. You are an open book to learn, which eliminates all appeal. Consider James Bond. He is the perfect example of emotional and manly mystery. Don't sit down and pour control Bond. He keeps his heart open to everyone, keeping his feelings in check, which makes him women are drawn to him and desire to break his having a tough exterior, to be the one observing his weak point. However, if he were to, he would lose that if he opened up too readily. Allure. This is the truth about women. They are emotional beings that require a rock. For them to anchor, if you're continuously expressing your emotions and being, you turn into another emotional victim when you're susceptible. Load for others to bear, rather than you must be the one capable of managing her. Feelings while retaining your own. Verify that this does not imply that you should be a robot, but you must use caution while how and when you share your be strategic with your emotions. Share enough of your emotional availability to demonstrate your humanity without being overly dramatic. Keep her by keeping your cards on the table, speculating about your thoughts, and this produces an emotional tension that maintains her interest and involved when you express your feelings. Act in a way that demonstrates strength rather than share tales of vulnerability that show off your ability and resiliency. To overcome obstacles and maintain control over time, this establishes you as a powerful, competent man who can manage everything, even her emotions. Recall, emotional receptivity is distinct from emotional intelligence, that you must comprehend and control your feelings without being excessively. Be excellent by being expressive and empathetic. Listener, but maintain your privacy. Privateness fosters a feeling of mystery and power that women find astounding, charming, so there you have it. Unadulterated reality of how to take authority in the goal of partnerships is not to be harsh or manipulative. It all comes down to knowing the dynamics and applying them to your benefit. Keep in mind that relationships are a psychological power game, and there will always be some who know how to play. If you discovered this video, make sure you hit that like when opening button and sign up for the channel's additional understanding of the psychology of. Don't forget to switch on relationships, the alert bell to ensure you don't miss a comment below with an update, and tell me what you think. Have you used any of these methods previously, or are you considering trying them out? Keep that in mind. Stay sharp and remember that information is power. Plan ahead and take charge of your life and connections. Thanks for viewing, observing, and I'll see you at the following video.